So hi, this is Merlin, and today I'm just gonna talk about what I learned today. Today the main topic is the authentication system. Um, if you're a front-end engineer, you should really know about some kind of authentication system, like those kind of cookie-based, like whatever thing is. And so the basically right now our product is based on the like I think it's OS 2 or OS 1 or something like that, and we combine the access token and refresh token and with the cookie based, um, and to be simplify this kind of like process of it, you have a like imagine this is kind of access token here. Sorry. Imagine this the user, the client. Also, imagine this is the server. And usually, when you're trying to like interact with the server, we use access token. So even if it is like protected APIs, example, if there's some APIs that I can use if only I am verified, we use access token of it. We put the access token on the header of it. So per API, we're gonna use access token. So access token is gonna put onto the header of it, the bearer header. And of course it's gonna be pretty fine, but there's like some question of it. You're using access token, but what if the access token is expired? There is the time of this time of this crypto string. So you should and this access token might expire within some kind of 2 days or 1 day or whatever, but how will server um, and how will client handle if there's something like expired token of it? So that is why we use refresh token. As token put into the bearer header and refresh token commonly put onto the our um, cookie. So if the access token is expired, we use refresh token to call the access token, and when we receive the new access token, we now use this new access token to get the the data that we want. So there's gonna be v1 as token, and there's gonna be v2 as token here. But the question is, so look, I know I already get it. I get it. Refresh token are storing the cookie, but why it sends to the server? You might give a question like this. The cookie is put onto your HTTP header, which means that every time you request some kind of API, the cookie is gonna be stored in the header, and that means that you don't have to care about putting data onto the body thing. The server automatically detects the header on the edge because we are using HTTP protocol, and that's very simple process. But let me tell you, what if it is not user clients, and also let's say this is main thread, and moreover, how do we handle this kind of access token? We can just store into state or local storage, right? The the most easiest thing is local storage, and second, um, it is the global state. But last thing is the 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 most difficult thing is in-memory strategy. So uh, the higher and the more it requires engineer think means that it's more safe of it. I mean, like it's how really engineer works. If you put access token on the local storage, that means that the even normal user can look at their own access token value inside the local storage. But if you put in the global state, that's really pretty fine. But I know there's some kind of dev tools that detects the global state. Example, Redux or those kind of thing. And also to rely on the global state and some kind of use the rec hooks uh, to to handle protect pages it's not really good because you're clearly rely on the React hooks, and that really makes unnecessary API calls because you cannot really handle some kind of React hooks that associate with the global state access token. And my strategy is, JavaScript is main single thread, and they commonly did everything in the main thread. And there's such a thing as hyperservices web worker, and I use the web worker thread method in this authentication system, and so which means that there's server here, and this fetching access token, like those kind of getting refresh tokens, are actually in the web worker thread. So it's already on our thread. And of course, the web worker thread is really separate from the main thread. You cannot really put some kind of like global state on it. You can put it, but it's really not necessary. So after receiving the access token, I send it back to the clients of it. But I'm not really sending. I'm sending a data of the access token, but I don't store it on the main thread. I just put this kind of string into my own API class because if you look at like Axios and Kai library, you put some kind of string here, bearer like token, like those kind of things. So I put access token on this part, but not as a like some kind of like global storage, like local storage or global state. I just put into some string of it. And after I store in the access token, not story, and I put it as a token on the API client's library. I use this access token when you calls the API. And moreover, to reduce this kind of unnecessary API calls, I store access token in memory on the web worker thread. So which means that basically, if there's already access token, we don't have to call API of it, even while the web worker thread is alive. And after getting access token, we detect the access token value if it's null or if it is string. If it's null, we put the boolean value, or if it's string, we put the true boolean value on the local storage. We don't put the access token value on the local storage. We just put the status of our authentication system. If this is auth equals to true or false in the local storage, but with the state of it. So there's some kind of hooks with the integrate with the local storage, but with the state. And the benefit of using those kind of strategy is you can toggle the local storage state but you can also get the local storage state outside of the component, which means that which also means that local storage state like a jotai, they utilize local storage but as a state, the integer state. But when it gets the local storage value, you can use two strategy. Use the hook, the jotai their own hook, but other option is just call the function of the getting local storage. But the but calling a function is not, there's no reactive thing, is there's no instant changes, but still is getting value of it. But second, it really make it responsive. I mean, this kind of state works. So we put like here is auth, and so based on this the local storage value, we call use effect hook to tell a client that it is really authentic or not, and we go navigate it. So if it is false, we redirect the we really redirect the our login page of it. But other means that we can just also means that if we delete this kind of is auth boolean value, we go to login page. But I know that's really kind of bad, not really bad, but that's gonna be a little bit bad, but still though it's really safe. It's just the boolean value. If they change into true, what is gonna happen? Even though if they put into true, if it will eventually go to login page, because I set up the I set up if there's some kind of like bad API calls, if there's like 404 API calls in the like while fetching the access token, or like getting the value from the API that requires access token, we gonna retrieve the null value, and we let the isAuth status value to change into false automatically. So everything is handled by like authentication is handled by web worker thread. So main thread is just the utilizing the value of the access token and calls API, and that's very simple. So this kind of authentication we made. The other part was, if it's just like calling API, it's pretty fine, but we are using the redirect, like some kind of social login thing is. So when it uses social login URL, it's not API, so that's kind of hard to track the redirect thing. But still though, the reason it works, we put all of these like getting access token and lodging in the web worker thread. So we don't really have to care about like how to like redirection URL and those kind of thing, because everything is handled by web worker thread, and this is pretty fine. We don't have to put all of the like state with the fetch logic, and the heavily relay also use effect. We don't really put here, because that is really easy to implement, and I really believe that when the engineering thing is used to make, there could be some kind of issue on it. You need to put like not deep, some kind of like little bit like engineering thing if it requires user lives. For example, your authentication is sucks, you're gonna live. So that's gonna be integrated with the business impact of it. So your engineer has to protect it. And so this is it. Have a nice day, and see you next time. Bye bye.